Hello everybody, welcome to another tutorial on LayR. In this video I would like to talk about key spans and crossfades. As we went through in the previous video, you should know that you can include multiple instruments or multiple instrument strips in your mixer view, and that each strip contains also a layer or more than one layers, up to 128. So when you have multiple instrument strips with multiple layers, it becomes challenging to better organize them. And in some cases, you want to have a particular layer playing within a particular range of the keyboards, but not on another part of the keyboard or range. So there is an extremely interesting feature called key spans, and which includes also crossfades, which you can find here for each of the different instrument strip. You click on it and it will open up all the layers under that instrument strip, which you can then set as set in terms of your key span and also as crossfades. So let's have a look at it. So let's first of all load an instrument. And let's load something like, for example, let's load a bass, a square bass. And let's click close. Okay, so let's expand the key span view. As you can see, there is only one layer, so nice and simple. So the first thing you can do is to actually adjust the key span for the particular layer. So you click on the layer, like so, and then you can click and hold on the right hand side to move the right side of that layer. So let's say that the layer will not go above C7, and also you can do that on the lower layer. So let's say that will not go below a C2. Now, as we click on the keyboard, you will find that there is no sound below C2 because I set the key span to start from, for that layer to start from C2. And if we move to the upper register, you will find that from C7 there is no sound because I have created a span in terms of that the keyboard range from C2 to practically B6. Now, there are situations where you want, for example, in a particular part of your keyboard, you want the sound to fade down because perhaps you want that to crossfade into another sound, or perhaps you don't think that that sound is particularly sound well at that register. So a way to do that is to act on crossfades. You can do that on the upper register or on the lower register. So you click on it and move up the dial like so. And in this case, we are setting that from C6 onwards, the sound will start to fade away. Let's do the same on the lower range. And let's do the same going from around C3. So as we move now, we click on the keyboard. You will find that above C6, the volume will start to lower down. And then, of course, from C7, there is no sound, so because it's fading down. On the lower register, again, from C3, again, it will fade down when you get to C2, and then there is no sound because I set a key span. So we can apply this concept. Let's minimize this view and to when you have multiple instrument strips. So for example, let's click on now a pad and let's load the swept trees pad. So we have two instrument strip now. Let's expand the view of the key span and crossfade view for the second instrument strip, and as you can see, you have 4 layers, 1 to 4, and here again we can establish the span for each layer. okay, and also the crossfade for each layer are acting on the dials, as we've seen a moment ago. Now, of course, when you have multiple layers, it becomes difficult and laborious if you want to actually just establish a simple key span. So one way to solve that problem is really to click on the keyboard display here and click and hold from the right and move in, and this is called instrument span, and you can do that from the lower part as well. Oops, here we go. Right, so in this way you will have no sound below C2 and you will have no sound above B5, and of course this view will be combined also with the other view as well. Ultimately, this is particularly useful when you want to create performances. So for example, let's open a performance. So I don't know, for example, a sunrise performance. Let's try, see if we are lucky. Let's expand that view. Here we have 4 layers. Again, 2 layers there, and layer 1, not much of a crossfade there. Let's choose another instrument. So I don't know, the massive. Let's try that one and let's see if there is a different view. Here we go. So as you can see, there are 4 layers on this instrument strip with fading out here for layer 1 and 2, and then of course layer 3 and 4 will continue to play. And on this instrument strip again we have fading on the up register and lower register for both layers. And as you can see, you can create dynamics performances. So another example would be how to apply a split. So let's load an instrument, let's initialize the performance, sorry, load the performance and before initializing it. Here let's add, for example, a bass, again a square bass 4. Let's expand the key span and crossfade views, and let's act on the instrument side, and let's say that this bass will play only below C4. Let's test it. Perfect. Let's minimize that. Let's include another instrument. Let's bring in, for example, a pad. Let's expand that view and let's act on again the instrument span on the lower side. Oops. Here we go. And let's say that the pad will play only above B3. So, sorry, above B3. So we have the pad here, and then below C4 we have a bass. And now you can easily play in this way, having a split between a bass and a pad. So as another example on how you can utilize these, and as I mentioned a moment ago, it becomes really powerful when you have a lot of instrument strip with a lot of layers and to create your own performance. As I mentioned in the previous video, LayR is a very capable multi-timbre synthesizer, and this is a demonstration that not only you can add multiple strip with multiple layers, but also you can organize how each one plays within your keyboard range. I hope you found that useful, and see you next time. Bye.